It's Thursday night football between the Las Vegas Raiders and the LA Rams. We break down the game, give you our best bet, and it all starts right now. Hey guys, it's Matt from GrandstandBettors.com, and Week 14 in the NFL starts with Thursday night football between the Raiders and Rams. We're going to get to our best bet in just a moment, but first, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our free picks and predictions all year long. And while you're at it, smash that like button if you are ready for some Thursday night football as we get into Week 14 here. I know I am. So, without further ado, let's dive in to the matchup between the Raiders and the Rams. Raiders are 6.5-point favorites at the moment. The over-under is set at 44.5. Now, the Raiders, they have won 3 games in a row, going for 4 this week, and if somehow they could run the table for the rest of the NFL season, there's a chance they could make the playoffs. That's a big if, though. The catalyst behind the Raiders' recent success has been Josh Jacobs. Over the last 3 weeks, Jacobs, he's rushed for nearly 500 yards, totaling 1,300 on the season with 10 touchdowns and 5.5 yards per carry. The crazy thing is, with those stats from their rushing attack, you would think that this offense would be very rush heavy. On the contrary, the Raiders actually rush the football the 7th least number of times per game in the NFL, which, unfortunately for Raiders fans, means that they need to rely on Derek Carr to pass the football. And Carr, he has put up 3,000 yards on the season and 20 touchdowns, but he struggles in a lot of games with his accuracy. He only has a 62% completion rate. This week, you would think that the Raiders will want to keep handing off the ball to the hot hand of Jacobs. However, the Rams have a top 5 rushing defense in the NFL, and they may need to rely on Carr a little more than they want this week against the Rams secondary, which is actually not that good. Still, you would think with a great rushing defense with the Rams and the defending Super Bowl champions, they wouldn't be a 6-point underdog here at home. Well, they are, and the Rams might go down in history as the worst defending Super Bowl champions ever. They're 3-9 on the season, which is dead last in the NFC West, and they have lost 6 straight, and they're not making the playoffs this season. Now, to be fair to the Rams, Stafford, Kupp, and Robinson are all on injured reserve, and last week Aaron Donald was even out in that loss to the Seahawks. Quite honestly, this is the part of our breakdown where we tell you what the Rams have done this season and how they're going to beat the Raiders if they can beat the Raiders. But it's almost impossible to even give a prediction on the Rams because you don't even know who's going to be on the football field this Thursday night. At quarterback, it could probably be Wolford, who is the best quarterback option after Stafford, but he's on the injury report as well. They did just pick up Baker Mayfield from the Panthers, but most likely he's not going to play this week. So if Wolford is unable to suit up, as he was in limited practice this week, it's going to be Bryce Perkins, which he's only in his second season out of Virginia. Perkins has been in 3 games this season, has not looked good, and honestly, if he ends up as the starter, this line, in our opinion, should move up to at least 9.5, 10 points. The silver lining in all this for the Rams and their fans this week is that the Raiders do have the 6th worst defense in the NFL, and they have the 3rd worst secondary. So whoever is announced as a starter this week may have a chance to have a decent game under center. So what is our best bet here for this awful Thursday night football matchup? Well, listen, if you're going to bet the full game in this one, hey, good on you. We're going to stay away from picking the spread and the total here, especially without even knowing the Rams starter at this moment. Instead, we're going to look at a player prop for Thursday with Van Jefferson. With Cooper Kupp out, Higbee and Skowronek being possible game-time decisions, Jefferson is quickly vaulted up the depth chart as the number 1 receiver on this team since coming back from injury himself 5 weeks ago. Now, since Jefferson has come back, he is almost averaging 5 targets a game and is averaging 12.5 yards per catch. This week against a horrible secondary, no matter who is at quarterback, it looks like Jefferson is going to be looked at more times than not. So, with our best bet for Thursday night football between the Raiders and the Rams, we're going to take Van Jefferson over 37.5 receiving yards. Now, just a reminder, if you want all of our NFL plays for this upcoming Week 14, head on over to grandstandbettors.com, become part of our family, and start living that grandstand life. In the meantime, though, sit back, relax, enjoy what you can in this Thursday night football matchup between the Raiders and the Rams. And we'll see you right here live on our YouTube channel for the game.